Well, it's September 22nd, 1994, and we're sitting at the famous home of Dennis Stone. And this is his even more famous mother, Lola Stone. And she's sitting here wondering why she's sitting here.
Right, 22nd, that's a very meaningful number in our lives. Bob and I always running into numbers too.
Well, that's what must be why we're here then.
Yeah, okay. Well, how shall I begin? Tell you my first memory, you say?
That would be a good place to start.
Okay, when I was 2, I remember being carried by an older cousin, and the whole town we were living in, this was, I'd been born in New York City, but this was the town of Auburn, Long Island. We'd gone for the summer, I think. Maybe we'd lived there for a while, a couple of years. The whole town was burning, and all I remember seeing is the chimney fall, and I could still see it. Anyway, so long ago that I used to play, later on I used to play with the horses for the fire engines. It used to be, I used to play around them and watch them. I was fascinated.
They were horse-drawn fire engines.
Yeah, they even had a blacksmith in the town. Anyway, of course in New York, everything, we moved back there and stayed there till I was 9. Incidentally, though our parents had come from Europe, my mother was a babe in arms. Actually, she came in 1888. She was 2 years old. And that was the year of the big blizzard. That was a terrible year to come to America. Of course, she was a baby. She didn't know. So she grew up like a New Yorker. So I felt like a typical New Yorker. But we had no feeling for roots. Never learned what her native country, which was Latvia, or her older sister was actually born in Lithuania. They had moved. It was an area that was very open for business and very active and very strong German influence. So our grandmother always spoke, well, she spoke English, but she also spoke German a lot. And it was because of Germanic influence. So my mother was born in Libau, which is not the Latvian name. That was the German influence name. It has another name, south of Riga. My father came from Riga. So they met in America. He was sent from Latvia all the way to South Africa, Johannesburg, to his mother's brother, to escape the Tsar's army. And the Tsar would have taken him for 20 years. They'd taken him, but she didn't want that to happen. And when he finished his education, well, around age 24, he came to America, where his family had already gone. So he hadn't seen his family from the age of 15 to 24. He had a big family, too. Anyway, they met in New Jersey again. But there never was any talk of the old country. So when my father came to America, he was very British. Very British accent in every way. His whole thinking was typical British.
Because of the South
African experience.
Influence.
Yeah. And he had very good taste in books and music, and we were very lucky that we thought a tyrant, and brother Arthur wasn't too pleased about that. He suffered the brunt being the middle kid. My dad used to read to us even Jane Eyre and all that. When I remember when I was 11, a little above my head, but I liked it. And he'd always have good music, and good books, real good books, always around. So we were lucky we had that. Of course, Mother was always painting and writing poetry and very creative. So we had a good cultural background. And what do I remember else? Let's see. Early memories. Well, I can remember when I was a kid, I was not conscious of being an individual. But my mother bought me a hat. I'd stick it on my head. I wouldn't look in the mirror. I mean, I was just connected to everybody else. And it took me a long time to get separated, but then when I got separated, I lost this wonderful feeling of connectedness. It took me a long time to get back to. That's another story. So let's see. We lived in New York, and I remember watching a few memories. Gang fights down the street. They take socks full of white flour and whack each other. I also remember at age...
What kind of gangs? Is kids?
Well, boys gangs. You know, boys always, we're always warlike, right? Anyway.
Today they use real guns.
Oh yeah, today they do. Well, I would have used them then if they had them. They didn't have the access to it. We weren't that wealthy to buy guns. Anyway, the other memory I remember from 6 was seeing solar eclipse. And that was spectacular. We just looked through negative.
The total solar
Total.
eclipse?
Oh, it was magnificent. New York up in the roof. And my eyes were never affected by it. I have good eyesight today, and I'm way up there. Anyway, do I reveal that at this point? Well, you can figure it out, huh? Anyway, so thank God I have good eyesight. And what else? Oh, then we moved at age 9. We moved to Long Island, and that was nice. Going to school, walking to school, and all that was lovely in the country suburb.
What
But
part?
oh, that was far Rockaway. It was very lovely, and I walked to school down to Bayswater. We always walked miles to school, but that was fun. We liked it. And let's see, no school buses. We didn't want them. We were healthy. What else do I remember? Oh yeah, then in the early teens, I went around telling everybody that this wasn't a real world, that it was all vibration and energy, and that it was only one, I thought globally, this was one family, one God, one family on this global earth. And people thought this kid is crazy, so after a while I learned to shut up. Not to go around telling people this chair isn't real, it's just really vibration. Finally, at this point, the world's caught up and it's wonderful. But I wonder what took them so long. Let's see, what else? Where shall I go?
Probably because you shut up.
Yeah, I shut up and they had chances.
That was the problem.
So let's see. Of course, I became a model when I finished high school. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go out in the world. I wanted to be a designer. The easiest way is to become a model. But when I did have the chance, fashion modeling, photography model, even billboards with me in a bathing suit all over America. But I was trying to get into fashion. When I finally had the chance and I saw what 7th Avenue was like, I turned tail, decided I'd go back to school. So I started
what
taking.
happened? What was wrong with?
It was too penny pinching commercial. I can't.
Well, the fashion
mercenary.
design.
Yeah. It wasn't just designing and that. You had to get involved with the commercial
business
aspect.
side.
The business.
You didn't want.
That wasn't for me. So of course I always wrote poetry. The first long poem was at age 14. The first painting was age 14, and I think it's as good as anything I've ever done. And what else? Well, anyway, so I model and I gave up the fashion designing and got fascinated by school and worked as a model during the day and went to school at night. Oh, and I had a wonderful time when I was modeling. Went to really had a glamorous life in New York. Lived on Long Island, but I'd stay with friends and cousins and go dancing at El Morocco and 21 Club. And when I worked at Gloria Vanderbilt's dress shop, she let me wear. They had gorgeous handmade clothes. She let me borrow them anytime I wanted to. But I suppose it helped her name to see this glamorous model gal.
So you were fairly famous.
Oh, well, I got in columns, Walter Winchell, and all that. And then along the way I met Bob, of course. Well, he told you that part of the story. Followed me around the beach. Then he took me to polo games. Then he went off to college, and then I got married to someone else before he came back. And so I really didn't start school till my mother suddenly got ill. And it was only 1 month she was dead. It came pretty fast.
What?
It was cancer of the colon. And in those days, they cut her open. There was nothing they could do, send her home to die, and she died within about a day or two. So with us all around. It was a terrible shock to me because I wouldn't believe it until I sat in her presence and watched her hands tremble. Then I could admit it. I couldn't admit it. I couldn't speak her name for 7 years, couldn't talk about it. I kept it buried inside. You feel guilty because you weren't as nice to your mother as you should have been. But anyway, life went on, and so I still worked as a model, was married, went to school, did everything like that. and worked very hard,
You
did
had
well
a
in
had a
school.
little girl.
And then